Let's talk about visuals. We received a lot of questions about the art direction of Without Judgment. Our goal was simple: make a modern game that looks like how PS2 games felt. Not just low-res textures or chunky polygons, but the entire vibe. That gritty, stylized realism, the digital apocalypse art direction that you saw in titles like Manhunt, Resident Evil 4, Metal Gear Solid 2, Tekken 4 and Silent Hill 2 and 3. The PS2's 4MB VRAM was a bottleneck, but it forced artists to innovate, to cheat in ways that gave games a distinct, unforgettable look. Modern games tend to blur together in a haze of photorealism and bad art direction. We wanted to go the other way. Our aesthetic is grounded in high contrast lighting, glowing neons and strong silhouettes. We avoid the plastic, oversaturated look of post-2010 graphics and instead use sharp, aggressive colors and contrast-heavy lighting to get that cinematic vibe. Back in the PS2 and Dreamcast era, there was a visual and thematic style that some have recently started calling the digital apocalypse. It's a fitting name. This aesthetic emerged during a time when technology was accelerating at an overwhelming pace. The late 90s and early 2000s felt like the world was fusing with the machine. It gave a feeling that we weren't just using technology anymore, we were being absorbed by it. And that idea, losing yourself to the machine, defined the mood of the 2000s. The PlayStation 2 hit at a perfect time to fully realize this vision. Jumping from the PS1 to the PS2 wasn't just a technical leap, it was a cultural one. Graphics went from abstract symbolic representations to strikingly realistic environments. The game started to feel like virtual realities instead of just toys. That may sound dramatic now, but back then it truly felt like stepping into another world. My brother, born in 1994, and I, born in 2005, both grew up with the PS2, and we remember that era vividly. The PS2 wasn't just a console, it looked like a science fiction artifact. Jet black with a glowing blue core, it felt alien. The black shell evoked deep space, while the blue light suggested something fluid, like water or memory, or data flowing through the circuits. It looked almost like the monolith from 2001, A Space Odyssey, something mysterious, advanced and possibly dangerous. And it wasn't just the PS2, the original Xbox had its own alien aesthetic. That radioactive green glow, the swirling black menus, the distorted sound design. It felt like you were inside the machine's nervous system. All of the in-game menus in Without Judgment feel and sound like you're interacting with some kind of sophisticated futuristic operating system. Just like our inspirations. Tekken 4 and the Bouncer. Stark, quiet, minimalistic menus with basic flat beeps from the void. This wasn't just a visual trend, it was a mood. Many games of that era across all platforms captured that sense of technological dread, transcendence and transformation. Booting up the PS2 and hearing that deep, swelling startup sound. This is what Wushin software is trying to bring back. Figuring out how to replicate the style of a PS2 game was nuanced. Let's talk about the environment. Most PS2 games used baked-in lightnings that created very soft, albeit sometimes pixelated shadows. Baked-in lighting essentially renders the lighting prior to the loading screen, so it's not real-time. Now, in Without Judgment, we wanted real-time lights and shadows, since baking every level would be very time-consuming, and if we wanted to redo parts of it, we would have to bake it again. So in our own engine, I wrote a lightning code that simulates these lights and shadows dynamically. Still, my brother created a sort of baked-in ambient occlusion by adding transparent decals to most surfaces. Currently, this is our workflow. I create an environment in Blender with multiple entrances, exits and vent shafts inspired by immersive sim design. I texture it, add graffitis and other decals. I send it to my brother who adds further details and does the baked-in lighting. I use our own level editor for our own engine to add physics objects and light sources, and then I populate it with NPCs. Our character models follow the same principle. Most of our NPCs fall between 5,000 and 10,000 triangles, but here is the thing, poly count doesn't really matter. What matters is how you use those polygons. Look at Silent Hill 3. Header in the game has around 6,000 polygons. Or take Final Fantasy 13. Lightning is around 8,000 polygons, and that game still looks better than most PS5 games. Why? Well, because art direction is clean and purposeful. The detail is in the textures. Compare that to Nathan Drake in Uncharted 3. That model has over 22,000 polygons, despite looking way worse than Silent Hill 3 or Final Fantasy 13. What makes a game graphics look good is not the poly count, it's the art direction, the design and the skill level of the artists. There is a reason why the PS2 CPU was called the Emotion Engine after all. Take Tekken Tag Tournament and Tekken 4. Tag actually has higher poly characters than Tekken 4, but Tekken 4 looks dramatically better. Why? Because Tekken Tag's tournament characters are bloated, unrefined, and lack a clear surface definition when compared to Tekken 4 or 5's models. Tekken 4 on the other hand uses fewer polygons more effectively. Better materials, sharper silhouettes, smarter lighting. It's a perfect example of how raw triangle count doesn't equal visual quality. Skill, direction, and discipline always win over brute force. Our textures are 512 by 512 resolution, although most common resolution on the PS2 was 256 by 256. We just wanted a little bit more detail. We also animate in a way that supports the aesthetic. We studied how Max Payne handled shoot dodges, how Manhunt made executions feel weighty, and how Asian cinema handles stunts and action scenes. Jackie Chan's movies were an inspiration. We are not necessarily trying to be realistic, we are trying to be visceral. The result is a game that looks and feels like a lost PS2 classic, but one running at 60 FPS with modern input response, widescreen and dynamic 3D audio. Now let me ask you something. How does this make you feel? Only right? Fog enhances the atmosphere. It's not just a visual effect, it's emotional. It creates tension, mystery and isolation. But more than that, it enhances scale. Look at GTA San Andreas. That game used fog to its advantage. You couldn't see the entire map at once, so every road disappearing into a haze made the world feel infinite. Even small cities felt massive because you didn't have perfect visibility. Your mind filled in the blanks. It's a technique born from hardware limitations that ended up making the experience better, not worse. In Without Judgment we are doing the same thing. We use fog to mask draw distance, but also to build mood. You're patrolling ruined highways, neon-lit alleys, and the swampy outskirts where the fog clings to everything like smoke. It doesn't just make the world look bigger, it makes it feel heavier, darker, more haunted. You're not supposed to see everything. You're supposed to feel like the city is following you whole. None of this would be possible without your support. If you want to experience the world of Without Judgment, here is how you can join. Patreon to access behind the scenes content and play the game's demo. Discord to join our community, discuss the game and chat with us. And Steam to wishlist Without Judgment and stay updated on the development. We are also looking for voice actors and publishers. If you are interested in any of these, send me a message on Discord. You should also check out Without Judgment Tabletop RPG. It has a lot of lore, a timeline, more than 100 random encounters, 4 megacities, rules for hexcrawling in a megacity, an introductionary adventure, and a lot more. It also has a unique rule set that my brother and I liked using in our campaigns, but that isn't the core focus of the book. The heart of it are the encounters, ideas, and inspiration you can draw from it.